what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a short little video, and then we're also going to continue this along in our podcast. So the video will just be probably about 10 minutes or so. And if you want to hear us expand upon it more, make sure you head over to our podcast. You're going to find that on all of your different podcast platforms like, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those. You can also listen to it on the YouTube podcast form. And so we're super excited about trying this new format. And what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about some common mistakes people make during the holidays specifically.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of potholes that just the holidays present, and maybe you've been going great all year long. Like here we are at the end of 2025. It's the last month and you want to finish well. That's the goal, to finish well. And maybe you have worked so hard over the last 11 months trying to work on your eating and your movement and your stress and your sleep. December has a way of just having people just completely bail on everything that they're doing and really start January feeling like you're at square one again.
So what do you think is the number one mistake that people make during the holidays?
I think that they call the season busy, and that causes them to abandon their plan instead of shrinking it and scaling it to the size of the holidays. So for instance, if you're like, man, I've been moving every day. This is something really important to me. But now the holiday schedule has it as such, and the winter itself has it as such, that I can't move 30 minutes a day. I just don't have the time for it. I don't have the place where I can do it. And so I am just not going to move my body at all now during the holidays, and I will start moving again in January. That is a terrible plan. You can at least shrink it to make it doable and say to yourself, okay, well, if I can't get 30 minutes of walking in every single day, I can at least get 10 in.
Right.
I mean, we don't have to abandon the plan altogether. Same thing if you have been eating, meat, you've been prioritizing protein, and suddenly the holidays come and you feel like, well, I don't have the time to cook the way I do every other month. This is the time to start using those hot dogs, getting some lunch meat, having some grab and go, already boiled eggs that you can grab and say, hey, we're still prioritizing the protein. I'm just doing it holiday edition.
Okay. Well, I've got one.
Okay.
So mine is going to be going into the holidays, and, there's a lot of keto alternatives now. There's a lot of recipes out there. There's a lot of products that you can buy that will remind you of the standard American diet versions.
Sure.
Like keto cookies, keto cakes, keto candies, all of that. And I think a big mistake that people make is that thinking that, okay, it's the holidays. I used to have this stuff before. I want to have it now, but I'm going to have the keto version, which I think is perfectly fine. I know that some people are going to say, no, you need to do it the same exact way. I feel like if you lighten up a little bit, but still keep it keto, that allows you to enjoy the holidays without feeling like you're punishing yourself and missing out. And especially if you go to family events where friends and family will be like, I can't believe you're not having a piece of cake. Well, bring your own cake that you can have. I think the mistake people make is thinking that this is a no holds barred, it's the holidays, and so I can have as much of this as I want because it's keto. And that is going to derail you and end up causing a bunch of weight gain. And what I mean by that is the fact that just because it's keto doesn't mean that it's going to help you along your journey. Your best outcome would be that you stay flat, that you don't gain a bunch of weight. But the problem with eating too many of these keto dessert alternatives, keto treat alternatives, is they are generally sweet, because a treat is sweet, right? Sweet makes it hyper palatable, which now means that you just keep consuming it more and more and more and more and more because you can't stop because your body doesn't have a shut off for something that's hyper palatable. Then because it's so hyper palatable, you eat a lot of them, and most desserts, especially on keto, are going to be higher in fat.
Very high.
So now the next thing you know is you are consuming a whole bunch of these treats, and before you know it, you've consumed 100 grams of fat just in treats and you haven't even touched your brisket.
Well, how many times have we made fat bombs and the rest of the year you're having maybe one every other day, but when the holidays come, I'm fat bombing myself like we're going to war or something.
Now, one way to get around this and to make sure that you don't overconsume these hyper palatable treats is to make sure that you are following a total carb protocol. Now, I know new people on keto are going to be like, well, wait, I thought you can count net carbs. You can count the net carbs that God made. What I mean by that is like the carbs in asparagus and broccoli, even avocado. But any of these treats, my strong suggestion is do not deduct the fiber, like from almond flour and stuff like that. And do not deduct the allulose, the erythritol, all of the different sugar alcohols. Even if your body doesn't use those as a fuel, at the end, you consume less carbs than you thought you did. That's a good thing. The reason I'm going to tell you to follow that total carb protocol is because you won't overdo it.
Right.
Now, I'm all for when you have a treat day, dessert day. We used to do this all the time where we said Fridays was our dessert day. So during the week, we didn't have any kind of desserts. On Fridays, we had desserts. We generally like to keep our total carbs under 20 total carbs. But honestly, we don't even really count anymore. But back when we really counted, what we did was on our dessert day, we allowed ourselves 40 to 50 total carbs, but no more than 20 net carbs. So that allowed us to still kind of play that net carb game, but no more than 50 total carbs. So if you're eating something like some keto cookies or a keto mug cake, which is probably going to be 20 to 30 total carbs because of the allulose, or like ice cream,
Sure.
like our ice cream recipe using the high cozy, you're going to have a bunch of total carbs because of the allulose. Now, your body won't use that allulose as fuel, but if you allow yourself, say, 50 total carbs and your ice cream is 30 total carbs, you're not going to have more than one serving of ice cream. You're certainly not going to eat a whole quart of it because you're going to be like, well, that's going to be 70 total carbs. So giving yourself that little headspace is a good way to get around it to make sure that you're not overdoing it, but still getting to indulge.
Well, and if, something sweet isn't your jam, but you want to kind of loosen the reins, you can still establish a total carb cap for your holiday season and then abide by that, because maybe you're the savory person who would like to incorporate a sweet potato every now and then, or you want more vegetables, or you're, working in more salads than you normally do. You still want to have a total carb cap. No one is going to be upset that they budgeted for a total carb cap and maybe didn't use it all.
What's another one you have?
Here's one. When you decide that you are going to have unclear boundaries with food pushers, you are going to have food pushers in your life. Acting like it's somehow a betrayal of the holidays that you're going to have food pushers is silly, because number one, people love you and they're not trying to be mean. Oftentimes they really do want to be hospitable, and this is how we know how to make somebody feel loved or wanted or appreciated is, hey, it's the holidays here, let me lavish you with more than what you require. And if I am having a potluck or a party, more than what you require is the food that I am providing. If you are trying to bless an entire company for their service, typically you have a big shindig with a bunch of food, right? So when people are trying to encourage you to eat, it's not always because they're trying to be mean. They're trying to be hospitable. So don't be upset that you are going to be surrounded by food pushers encouraging you to try the thing that they brought or the gift that they gave you. But when you have unclear boundaries, it's not just that you're going to fall prey to people pleasing, because a lot of times that's what happens. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a plan of how you're going to handle what happens when someone says to you, just eat this, or go ahead and have some, you can do better in January, or some silly thing, then you're going to be prey to the moment. And you can be sometimes high resolve in a moment, or if the emotions are running, you could be low resolve. And so you don't want that wishy-washy interaction. The other reason why you want to have strong boundaries is because when you attempt to people please, you're not saving the relationship. What's happening is you're making yourself vulnerable to having that relationship dinged on your side, right? So let's say Uncle Bob and Aunt Margie are food pushers. You know that when you come to the holiday gathering, they're going to be like, come on, like you've been good enough, just indulge. If you give in because you want to please your aunt and uncle, what's going to happen is the next time you get ready for a holiday gathering or an interaction with these people, you're not thinking about the relationship over the years and enjoying their humor and their stories and their wisdom and sharing time together. You're going to start putting them in the compartment of this aunt, this uncle is hard to deal with. They're toxic. They don't support my health goals. And now it makes it harder for me to come and have family time with them.
Well, that's a really good one. Now, before we head on to number 4, I want to invite you to please head down below and hit the like button on this video. That does 2 things. Number 1, it does help build our channel. More importantly, though, it lets us know what kind of videos you guys are looking to see. While you're down there, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button. This way, you are updated every time we upload a new video. So number 4, I've got an interesting one.
Okay.
And I think that this one is going to confuse people. And I'm going to say people who pay attention to the scale, but not in the way you're thinking. I know right now you're thinking, oh, don't you ever say don't get on the scale? I mean, yes, we are definitely not proponents of the scale. And I think a lot of people will get on the scale and worry because, oh, I ate something and the scale went up, and then punish themselves.
Sure.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who maybe have a cheat meal or a cheat day or even a cheat month, which I think is kind of like number 5. But people who do go off like keto, have an off-plan meal or whatever, maybe slip up, have some candy or something like that, get on the scale and then see that it didn't really affect them on the scale.
They got away with it.
They got away with it. And so they continue doing it more and more. And I think that that is a bigger problem. So here's my thought is the scale is the devil. Okay? It is the devil. I have a very unhealthy relationship with the scale because for me, that scale doesn't tell me anything good ever. If I get on the scale and I didn't lose weight when I'm trying to lose weight, I'm a screw up. I'm not doing well. If I get on and I gained weight, I'm a screw up. I'm a failure. Even though your weight can fluctuate 5 pounds in a day, it doesn't matter. And you're talking to somebody who actually will get on the scale before and after I go poop just to see if I lost any weight. And can somebody please explain to me why there are several times where I actually weigh more after pooping than before?
I can't explain that.
I don't understand that. But here's the other one. If I lost weight, that scale doesn't tell me you're doing a good job, especially if I ate more the day before. What it's telling me is you got away with something.
Keep going.
Keep going. You can do that again. Or even worse, even if I didn't have like an off-plan meal or something like that, because we really don't do that, and maybe I just did what I was regularly doing. I've been keeping pretty strict for a week or 2 weeks or a month or a couple of months, and I get on the scale at holiday time and I see I've gone down, you know what that scale tells me? That scale tells me, you know what? You've been doing very well. Why don't you go ahead and treat yourself?
Right.
So my advice to you is going to be, for the holiday season, stay off the scale completely. Don't get on the scale to see if you've gained weight. Don't get on the scale to see if you've lost weight. And don't get on the scale to see if you're maintaining your weight. Start on the scale now at the very beginning of the holiday season, and don't get back on it until after the new year.
I think that's great advice, honestly. I really hope that people follow it. Let us know in the comment section if that is some advice that you follow and how does it work out for you. Let us, come back and let us know. So I get to have the last word.
You do, but before you get to the last one, I did want to invite you that one of the best ways to get through the holidays is in community.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are in community, especially if you have those food pushers that Rachel was talking about. You want to be around like-minded people that can help encourage you. If you have a slip up, tell you it's okay, help you get back on track. And the best way to do that is to head down below and join our Mighty Network group. Now, we have a couple of different options. We do have a free group. It is members.twocrazyketos.com, and that is where you're going to find a lot of community. Also, you can join our paid groups. And in the paid group, you get a few extra things, a little bit more insider information, and then every Wednesday, Rachel also goes and does a podcast, or not a podcast, like a coaching call for a small group of people. And this is a great way to get some inside coaching every single Wednesday. And also, if you've been following our Substack, when the new year starts, our Substack is going to become paid. But the people who are inside of our paid version of Mighty Networks, they're going to get access to the Substack articles for free. So if you'd like to support us any further, head down below, join the Mighty Networks, whether it be the free one or the paid one. Now, yes, you get the last word. What do you think is like the biggest mistake that people make at the holidays?
The biggest mistake is deciding that the holiday season is just so chaotic and there's so many things that, is out of their control that they're just going to dip out of keto and we'll see you again next year. That is a very dangerous game to play. Number one, yes, the holidays may feel like it's chaotic or it may feel like it goes by so fast, but you still have these same 24 hours in every day that you have the rest of the year. So we're kind of lying to ourselves that we don't have as much time as we need. We have enough time to care for ourselves, to prioritize what is important to us. When we get in the attitude of things are just so busy and the schedule is so overrun that I cannot be expected to eat right, you are creating 31 days times 24 hours where you can really cram in some chaotic eating. Because once you say, hey, this thing's chaotic, you start living to that vibe. I mean, think about when we go on the cruise. We're about to go on the 2KK birthday cruise. If I'm in cruise mode, then I am going to be probably showing up to dinner with a bathing suit and shorts. And it's fine. I made a cruise vibe decision. If I come home and I decide I'm going to go to work or I'm going to go to church with my cruise vibe, what happens? I'm going to be showing up in water shoes to church? That ain't going to work. If you say this holiday season's a chaotic, you are going to make chaotic decisions. You are going to eat mostly junk. You are not going to prioritize protein. You're not going to believe that you need to get movement in. You are going to abandon any type of bedtime routine. And what's going to happen in January of 2026 is future Rachel has to deal with what December Rachel made as choices. And let me tell you, 31 days, let's just say that once every 3 hours, I make a really stupid decision because I'm living like the holiday season is chaotic. Well, that's what's that? Eight problems a day, 8 mistakes a day.
Yeah.
If I do 8 mistakes a day times 31 days, what am I going to be looking at January 1st? A mess.
Yeah, I think that people definitely should be sticking to keto, some form of keto. If you're carnivore, maybe switching over to keto. If you're keto, like a ketovore and don't generally have desserts, I think the best case scenario would be to allow yourself a few desserts. But I think anybody who's considering going off of keto or carnivore completely for the holidays is just setting themselves up for failure in the new year. So that's going to be the end of today's video. Now, if you'd like to hear some further discussion on this, I've got some great responses to what Rachel just talked about. You're going to hear that over on our podcast. So like I said, go follow us on our podcast on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Now, if you do like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Take a look at the video we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video that I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon. And that way, every single time we chat about something, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.